Welcome to Village Vibez. I'm Naja P, owner of Freakin' Fresh.
Hi, I'm Ajoya, owner of AJ Excursions.
And together,
we are
Village Vibez.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
So, what is Village Vibez?
Village Vibez is a movement. It's a vibe. We're taking the world and bringing it to your front door.
We about to just kick your backyard fence down. Here we come. Hi. So, where can they find us?
You can find us at One Village Vibez on Facebook and One Village Vibez on Instagram. You can find me at Natural Impressions on Instagram and at Freakin' Fresh on Facebook.
You can find me on AJ __ excursions on Instagram. Enjoy AJ Excursions on Facebook. So we have our guest. Hey.
Our beautiful guest, and today's topic is
babes chasing what?
Bag. Getting that paper.
Hey. So who are we going to start with? Who would like to go and introduce themselves first? Come on.
Our first boss babe.
Come on.
I'll introduce myself first. My name is Annette Campbell. I am owner of my newly launched tax business called The Tax Experience and financial empowerment coach.
All right. Where can we find you on social media?
On social media, you can find me. My personal profile is Annette Campbell. My business page is The Tax Experience. On Facebook and Instagram _ The Tax Experience, and Annette with Success with Annette on Instagram. You can find me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Lewis, and I am the CEO of Lalu Public Relations and the creator of Single Dope Black Chick, which is a platform to empower single Black women.
All right. So where can we find you?
Yes, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lalu _ PR and at Single Dope Black Chick.
Okay.
Nice.
Hello, everybody. My name is Katira Poland. I am the CEO of Love for Words, which is an editing boutique, and we transform manuscripts into books. You can find me on Instagram at Poland LLC, also Twitter at Poland LLC, and my website is www.polandllc.com.
Thank you.
Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Welcome to all my boss babes.
So, what is a boss babe?
What is a boss babe?
What do you think a boss babe is? Let's go.
Somebody that takes control of their future.
Ooh,
Nice. Taking
So
control
that's
of
what
the
we're
future.
doing, right?
Yes.
We all own a business.
Yes.
And we are Women is March, so Women History Month, or
Yeah.
Right.
so celebrating us. But it's celebrating us in a way that talking about being business owners. Let's talk about let's get this out the way. The challenges,
Obstacles and perils.
the obstacles, everything that goes along with not only being a woman, Black woman, business owners, and not a large major city.
Right.
Right.
What have you run up against so far?
Well, I would say when I think about boss babes, I really think about securing the bag, right? So we're stepping up. We stepped out on faith, all of us who have businesses. And I feel like a challenge that I experienced early on was knowing my worth and my value and setting my prices as such. And so when you know your worth and your value, you know what you deliver. For me, I'm in PR. So everything dealing with PR is about getting results. And I know that I can get results. And so therefore, I need to be compensated accordingly.
Yes.
Right.
So, Annette, what have you are the newest one on the block, the new kid on the block. What have you experienced so far that could have made you say this is too much?
I think just the confidence piece. I feel like to be a boss babe, you gotta just step out and believe in yourself and have that confidence that you can and you will, you must launch this business or continue to live out your dream or accomplish your goals and whatever it may be. So I feel like confidence, I had to have the confidence to step away from a corporate tax preparer company and do it on my own. And that was like a big step because a lot of people don't want to take that step. They think like it's too risky. They might fail. They might mess up. They don't have the insurance to come. All different types of things that I'm like, I'm not taking that for an excuse and letting that hold me back. And being that I did, I'm just experiencing an overwhelming amount of success. So I'm glad that I definitely did take that leap.
I am so happy to hear that. So I think about 6 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to do it.
Yes.
And I think my obstacle is fighting and battling the internet, because you can go book a trip on your own
Right.
through Expedia and everything. And that was my obstacle. That was my biggest, was battling the internet. And how do I combat that? And can I combat that? And what people want my services or want to hear what I had to say about a trip. You know what I'm saying? So that was my obstacle. What was your obstacle?
I think one of my obstacles was pulling in my personal life. So it's easy for me to talk about my business. I always go to my business, the boards that I serve on, but it's harder for me to incorporate my personal life. I tend to keep that private. But what I realize is that when people know things about you, they'll connect with you. So they know you went to UB. They know you have a cat. They know that, you lived in Savannah, Georgia. They're like, oh, I have a cat too. Oh, I live there too. So for me, it's being more forthcoming about, some of the personal things going on in my life.
Okay.
For me, I probably am the youngest as far as business owner, owning a business of my own for myself. For me, my struggle has been, because I do graphics and design and art, I do things for other people. So that might help propel people forward, but I did not focus on myself. So this is something that's ongoing for myself, is that I have to focus on myself. It's a constant and daily battle trying to pinpoint what I need. So I'm constantly editing myself and editing what it is that I want to do with myself and where I want to go. So I'm still in that process for myself.
And I think those are all, legitimate obstacles that we have faced. And what would you say to someone that is looking at this and will say, I have this idea. I've been doing this as a passion, as a hobby that I know everyone has told me to turn into a business, right? But they're afraid because they don't have the insurance, or they don't know what to charge, or they don't know where to start that with themselves, or the internet for me, or letting their personal lives in. What are we going to say to them? What is the advice?
Yeah, I would say don't let fear, doubt, or anxiety stand in your way.
Right.
Like, you really have to overcome those things, because those things can be huge hurdles and barriers for you that will only hinder yourself. Right. And as I was listening to both of you talk about your businesses, Naj, what I hear for you is that you're building a portfolio. So when people are looking for a designer,
spin doctor,
they PI, they can.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay.
Right. One of her designs, but you're building your portfolio.
Right.
And so that's something that people can look at and say, okay, look at her work. Look at how she designs things. And with you, AJ Excursions, it's about the experience.
Right.
Yes, I can go online and book a trip to Jamaica, but if I go with AJ Excursions, I know I'm going to have a full itinerary. I know I'm going to have a tour guide. I know that I'm going to be taken care of. And should I have any issues, I have someone that I can call. Right. If I book it myself, who I'm calling? Ghostbusters? Right. and they're not coming.
Right. And that was I swear to you, someone said to me, they asked me why. I said, well, you can call Expedia and you can be on hold and they don't know you. You're just another person. I was like, and you're going to this place, and what if the person has never been? Where you're trying to go, I've been. I have contacts I can do. And you, at 3:00 in the morning, you call my phone. I may not want to answer, right? But I'm answering to get you that service and to make sure you are okay, or doing something for you last minute. And you're right; those were the differences. And I love what you said, like battling fear, because it's scary.
It is very scary.
Very scary.
And it can. And the one thing, let's talk about this: the finances of starting a business. Because a lot of people, I think, believe that I just go order business cards.
But that's an expense.
Nothing is free.
But you understand? I can start a Facebook page. I can start an Instagram page.
Right.
And I have a business.
Right.
And you're right. But I can get business. You can get business cards on
Vistaprint.
Right? Yes. For $25, and then you can do your little miniature Shopify website
Right.
And it doesn't really cost that much, right? But it still is a cost.
Right.
But when you start doing things the right, not, I don't want to say it's the wrong way, but
no, they need to research. I mean,
legitimize
with the internet. I mean, if you don't want to take a class where you're sitting in front of somebody, you can find almost anything that you need online, research and figure out how to legitimize your business.
Right.
Exactly. Because there's a lot of a travel agent who put up their little social media sites and passed out some business cards.
Right.
You know, they'll be the ones to send you overseas and then leave you there. You know, literally leave you high and dry. We spoke about
that last week.
Really?
I literally left over there, and it's because we want the business.
Yeah,
we
don't want to do the work.
We don't want to do the work.
Yeah, to piggyback off what you were saying, I think research is the biggest. That's going to give you the most success.
Right.
Making sure you're looking into what you're doing. So when I started my LLC in 2016, I was still living in Savannah. But I could go online and see what I needed to do for New York because I knew I was moving back here. Right. So just taking the initiative. Of course, not everything on the internet is accurate. So you will have to decide, you have to figure out what is right, what's correct, what's incorrect, things like that. Mm-hmm. But for business owners, initiative is so important. Obviously, if you're starting your own business, you have to have that initiative. So I think that's really important for anybody who wants to pursue a business or start a blog or a writing program or whatever you're starting. You have to have that drive.
I feel like also like just overcoming not wanting to ask for help. Like just to, kind of pretty much piggyback off of what everybody said, doing the research, understanding what you need to do to actually launch your business. I even reached out to you, Jessica, remembering something. Anybody that I needed help, I was reaching out to you. I have tons of mentors, people to help me make sure I was launching my business the correct way, especially a tax business. I'm dealing with people's sensitive information. Right. I want to make sure that I'm stepping out the gate, not, because around tax season, a whole bunch of people pop up saying they can do some taxes and they're not legitimized. They're not educated. You know what I mean? So just making sure that you have the right things in place. And then me also helping other people make sure they're in line when it comes to their business and their finances, because that's another thing that a lot of business owners end up running into down the line because they didn't do the necessary steps to begin with to make sure that their business is functional and operating in the right capacity. So I feel like that's definitely important for business owners to take that step to educate themselves when you want to get into business and understanding the necessary steps going forward, and reach out for help. Get a mentor, research, take classes, whatever you need to do. Just don't make unnecessary mistakes. There are going to be mistakes along the journey. Obviously, we know that, but unnecessary ones that you probably could avoid.
Right. And sometimes I think mistakes are your biggest educator, right? Mm-hmm. And I think about all the mistakes, and what I tell people, my mistakes hit my pocket. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My mistakes hit my pocket. So I didn't make that same mistake because I messed up someone's plane ticket one day. I never forget, on this one website, I tell y'all this, it gives you 3 different date options. I saw this beautiful price. It was like, oh, booked it. Had it. Bam. Called her, was like, this is this amazing price. On this flight at this time, it was the wrong date. Gave her ticket. Here. She was like, she came to pick it up. She looked at it like a day, 2 later. She was like, this is a great ticket for the wrong date. What are you talking about? Look at it. Had to go find that same, because she wanted to be on a certain flight with her friend going and coming. I had to come out my pocket almost $400 and get her on that flight. And it wasn't about, oops, it was my bad. It was my mistake. So I had to pay for it. And I think sometimes we don't own up. When we make mistakes, we are more apt to get high behind defenses, hide behind an attitude, or hide behind all those walls to keep us safe and to keep me from having to pay out and to keep, me protected, that we end up throwing a client to the wolves because we made the mistake, but we don't want to own up to it. So, it's like a snowball effect. So let's talk about let's look at this. When you're in business and you're making mistakes and you make mistakes, because we are human, right. We will fail. How do you overcome that?
Let me tell you how. Take every L as a lesson.
Right.
One time there was a gentleman who wanted PR for a conference that he was hosting. I was very excited about it, but I kind of waited a little too late to get started on his media outreach. And so as a result, every media outlet in Rochester was already booked. I could not book him on any television station. And I was like, oh my God, he paid me a lot of money. Like he paid up front and I felt so bad. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Am I going to refund him this money? But one thing that I do tell my clients is that media coverage is never guaranteed because at the end of the day, the outlets determine who come on their shows, when, all of those details. So he knew that up front. He had a PR background, but he was hiring someone to do it on his behalf. So because it was my fault, the next year when he had his conference again, I reached out to him 2 months in advance, like, your PR is on me. I got him on channel 13, on channel 10. I was like, you want to go on the radio? He was like, yep. I was like, I got you covered. And admission of fault is not a bad thing. No. You got to put your pride down.
Yes. Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, just think about that. Like, how many of us have met someone that's in business that we went to them for a service, they made a mistake, and they made you feel like it was all your fault.
That's manipulation.
Yes. Yeah, yes. It is. And fear. They're manipulating you because they're hiding behind the fear that they've actually messed up. I do photography. And I have to laugh. I was at a dance studio and I was taking pictures and it was like 30 girls. And I had a lot of mishaps. One of my cameras died right in the middle of taking all these pictures that I sent them. Thankfully, I had a backup, but that was a fiasco and my partner had a meltdown. So I had to handle that. Horrible with relations he was. And then we sent the pictures to the printers and they were all jacked up. The printers, something happened and the pictures were ruined. And I had to just bite the bullet. I had to eat it. I had to show up the day of, because I was giving 50 families pictures. Had to come and tell them, listen, these pictures are jacked up. That's on me. And I'm going to rectify that. So I had to come out of pocket because they had already paid me and reprint everything and hand deliver. And I gave them extra photos because I felt so bad, but they appreciated the fact that I owned up. Listen, this is jacked up. I didn't put it on them. I didn't lie about it. And I took that extra step like you did to rectify it and go a little beyond because now they can't say, look at her. She did a horrible job. Oh, 830 Images sucks. No, I went above and beyond because I know that's my name on that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you always have to protect your brand.
Right.
Yes. Right. So when you mess up, admit it, and then do what you have to do to rectify and to fix it. Because when it's left unanswered or unresolved, now you have a stain on your reputation, essentially.
Yes,
and
you do.
Being a PR, reputation management is so incredibly difficult if it's going down the drain.
Right.
So being able to correct those mistakes, it takes a lot of humility. Especially as a business owner, if somebody's telling you they're not satisfied, whether it's a mistake you make or their perception or their perspective that they weren't satisfied.
Right.
But like you ladies said, I'll offer, I'll do your next project for free, or I'll give you a discount, or I'll go over the manuscript again for you again. So I think it's a less talked about topic. Nobody likes to talk about, I'm a business owner and I messed up.
Right.
But those are things that we need to put out there because like I said, we're human.
We're human. And definitely. A lot of times we don't want to. That's the one topic we don't discuss.
Right.
In business, when you go to every business conference, every business class, we talk about how I made my millions, how I've been in business for 5 years and I did all of this and I did that. I mean, we go on and on about our accolades and about our successes and about what I did, but we don't talk about the 10 mistakes.
But you know what? It's so funny. Customer service is huge because of the mistakes that are made. But really, like that.
I called Naja yesterday about a client called and she was like, when are we scheduling to pick up my paperwork? I gave her an appointment. So she calls again. Can you just put my paperwork in your mailbox? I can't come. So then she sends me a text message. Well, what about this and this? I was like, well, that's what I was going to go over with you when you came for your appointment. I didn't have an appointment with you. I just was picking up my paperwork. I was like, no, when you picked up your paperwork, I was going to go over your paperwork, and then I was going to address these things that you didn't put in place yet, that so I can put in place. But we didn't have a meeting. We didn't have an appointment. I was just picking up my paperwork. Miscommunication.
Right.
And at first I got upset. So I was like, I could have just put your paperwork in the mail if I wasn't going to have a conversation with you. You were coming to pick it up. So I was going to have this conversation with you. But in her head, she really was just picking up paperwork. And I said, that was miscommunication. So now, and I was like, I apologize for the miscommunication. Can you come this next day, bring your paperwork back, and I will go over it. I said, but from here on out, I will never I will make sure when I say to people, come pick up your paperwork, it is an appointment so I can review your paperwork with you, because no one has ever, up until now, made that mistake, or it wasn't miscommunicated with anyone else. But if she did this,
she was literal. She literally thought it was papers.
So I had,
and if it was one, there could be 100 more.
Yeah, 100 more. And I had to, and I told her, I was like, from now on, when I send out my messages, come pick up your paperwork in September, it's to pick up your paperwork and for me to review. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I know now to say that. And that was a mistake. And we don't talk about these things. And it scares me because customer service, I listen, and we always hearing horror stories in customer service. How did you overcome them? We don't learn. I can't see, Jessica, what did you do? I love that you said, well, it was my mistake.
Right.
But that next year, 2 months before even the event, here's what you're doing.
And I would say, as business owners, one thing that we have to do, we always have to educate our clients because they don't always know our process. And if we don't articulate our process, then they're going to be left in the dark and left to assume. And we have to get in front of those assumptions by, telling them as much information as possible so they are not filling in the blanks themselves.
Right.
Yes.
Transparency, because otherwise they'll assume that we're doing something that might be underhanded or something like that. And that's also, completely.
This is something I just learned. It is your business. You have to own your business.
Right.
They only know what we tell them about us, about what we do.
And another thing too, there are big box stores who can afford it. Let me give you an example. You can go into a Walmart and something might not be right, and you're going to return it. They're going to be less impacted than us small business owners.
Right.
You can go to McDonald's drive-thru and get cold fries and a cold nasty burger every time, but you will still go back to that McDonald's. They'll still business will still flow. They can afford those mistakes.
And take the hit.
We can't.
No, we cannot.
We're not there yet. So until the golden arches are recognized for our individual businesses, you have to do your due diligence.
That's right.
Yes.
You do. And it's not easy.
It's not.
No.
It's not easy looking or speaking with an angry customer.
Oh, trust
a
me.
dissatisfied customer.
Dissatisfied.
During tax season is
my goodness.
crazy.
I couldn't
so
imagine.
I had to overcome a lot of
I have
challenges.
so many questions for you because let me just put it out there. People, there's stereotypes and prejudice against Black people in math, so they assume that we can't do it. Women in finance, because there's this preconceived notion that women cannot handle money. Then you have people who have these expectations that cannot be met. They somehow think they're gonna get like $250,000 back for tax time or something. You know what I'm saying? Get mad at you if they owe you something. How do you deal with that?
Yes. So, like you said, Jessica, I put my client expectations up front. Like, this is a process. This is how this process is going to go. I kind of do like almost a screening process to begin with because, my time is very valuable right now. When I have a whole bunch of clients, potential clients in my inbox, I need to make sure I'm connecting with the people that I specifically want to work with, people who are serious about their money, serious about their business, serious about doing things the right way. So I have my process is pretty much seamless. Obviously, clients do come and expect like, first of all, the misconceived notation with taxes is that you're going to get money back.
Right.
the way that the government, IRS is set up, you know, if you're claiming 9 through the whole year, that means no taxes is being taken out of your check. So that means you're going to owe. It doesn't matter what I do as a tax preparer. Like I have no wiggle room. Like if you just not paying taxes, the government, the IRS, they're going to want their money. So there's like nothing that you can do. And that I try to educate, like, okay, let's look at your scenario. Let's look at how much money you're making. Let's see if we can possibly change exemptions with the money that you're making throughout the year. Maybe we need to add on extra business or an investment to help you kind of, if you will, get money or kind of live at a, because a lot of people think like, oh, you know, I can't afford it. I need this money. I need all of the money. I'm like, technically it's just like, no, you can't do that. Like you're going to owe the money at the end of the year. So, you know, people with children, obviously, you know, you're going to get more money if you have children or if you have a business. So I kind of like try to educate my clients and give them a full round experience. Okay, this is a tax scenario. What can we fix based on the information that I see? And then, you know, kind of go from there. But yeah, a lot of people do. Like I had this one person who came and she thought she was going to get $10,000 for claiming 8 children that weren't hers. Wow. And those are things like people come to you with crazy scenarios and they want, it's like, first of all, like, I'm a legit tax preparer, a legit business owner. Like I'm not going to risk my business, my name and get fined by the IRS. Cause as a tax preparer, a legit tax preparer, we get fined if we're making mistakes and things like that, you know, unavoid, like you said, doing our due diligence. I have to make sure like, okay, based on information that you're giving me, is correct and accurate. Right. But like you said, people do have high expectations. And I kind of, when my biggest challenge, I would say, is telling people that they owe money. It's just like, hey, look, okay, you know, you owe this money. Most people know that they owe. Most people, you know, they're like, okay, Annette, I owe. But I still try to take that next step to see how I can reduce what they owe. Right. Well, so, you know, kind of just, you know, changing the narrative, like not focusing on the owing part, seeing what we can do, you know, for that, you know, tax year and going forward. So yes, it was very challenging, you know, just the amount of phone calls and, you know, this year through the the Job Cuts and Tax Act, a lot of people's refunds were held a little bit longer. So it was like I'm in tax preparer groups with tax preparers, CPAs all over the country, and everybody was going through the same situation. People was calling me at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I can't sleep.
Where's my check?
Where's my refund?
Listen, Facebook had me when the people was calling. They was like, they called the IRS, was like, you got by Friday. Like they were like up in arms, and I was like, what is going on?
And it's because there's a lot of identity theft that goes on during tax season. Right. And there's a lot of people claiming things that they're not supposed to claim. So the IRS is being a little bit more careful. They're making sure like everything that's being processed is, you know, accurate. You got to think about it. They're having millions of tax returns coming in. So it's just like, of course, they're going to take a little bit more time just to make sure, you know, things are accurate and correct. So it was definitely challenging, you know, still trying to be professional and during like clients who weren't, you know, giving me that same type of respect or just don't care. They just want their money. And it's just like, as a taxpayer, I'm like, okay, I'm just a transmitter to the IRS. Like once the IRS receives your return, it's like, I'm pretty much out of the picture at that point to a certain degree. Cause I can't tell them. This one lady, she literally wanted me to call the IRS and tell them to release her money. I said, I can't do that.
Where did they do that? You tell the government what to do?
Yeah, tell the government. I'm going to tell the government. It's like, just
you have it like that.
I'm like, listen, even if when I process my taxes, like I can't call the IRS. I mean, we have different little, like they give us messages as a tax preparer that we can relay to our clients, but it's not like, you know, release your money tomorrow and they're going to listen to me. No.
Like I'm about to say, if you can do that, tell them I don't owe.
Yes.
Hey.
How about you, Jessica? I mean, PR, I would assume at least initially it was male driven. So how has it been being in this city, which is not necessarily the easiest to operate in because of we're not melanated, and then you're a woman and that's male driven. How has it been for you? Did you face those obstacles?
Actually, PR is heavily dominated by white women.
Is it now?
It's heavily dominated by white women. So for me, being a person of color, I actually haven't found any challenges. I found a niche.
Nice.
Because there's so few of us in this particular field. And so I think for me, it's been a benefit. I think being in a small to mid-sized city is also advantageous because you can be a big fish in a small pond.
Right.
If I was in Atlanta, DC, LA, it's 1,000 Black girls doing PR. You know what I mean? I would have to kind of fight my way to the top just to rise above. But here, there's not a lot of competition. So it's advantageous for me.
Oh, I could see how that would work. Maybe I need to rethink.
Would you branch out to major cities? Are you thinking about it? Are you trying?
Absolutely. I have this dream desire to go to LA. Maybe one day I might make it out there.
Nice.
I always told myself I didn't want to get into entertainment PR, but the more that I'm on social media, the more that I'm looking at Instagram, I'm just seeing, how entertainment PR can be beneficial. And, I feel like there is a lane, but I never want to make steps prematurely.
Right.
I always want to have my steps ordered by God. So I just want to stay prayerful. I'm going to continue to build Lalu here in Rochester, and wherever the Lord sends me or whatever he has for me, then that's what I'll do.
Okay.
Definitely.
Taking the steps in his word.
So we're looking at this. No, that's what. Yeah, we're looking at this. So, as a author, because you have a book coming out,
I do,
this summer of poetry, right?
Yes.
So, as an author, as an editor, what do you think? Where do you see yourself going? And how is it being in Rochester? Because do you feel it's constrictive where you can't really move as your business, or how is it here?
So I feel like in Rochester, there's a lot of opportunity to be an editor, to be in the writing field. There are a lot of authors here, so I think that's awesome. We are very close to Toronto, so there are a lot of people who come. For example, we have our Black Authors Expo we're having it this summer, but it's usually in the spring. But we have authors who come from there. And because it's small, a lot of my referrals are word of mouth. So I'll work with one author and then they'll refer me to another, and then it's just kind of cyclical, and people know my name and they see me, and like you said, big fish, small pond. So it's not too difficult to become known. And also, like Jessica said, I don't know that there are too many Black women editors in Rochester. I know that there are a few, but it's not, like Atlanta or the larger cities. So I think it's easier to be known, to be noticed, to get the recognition here. And then your first question, where do I see myself? I would like to have the editing boutique. I would like to do that full time. I do not want to be a large business. I imagine 3 or 4 people, myself, an executive assistant, and maybe 2 other editors. I want to have a youth camp. I want to start a foundation. So I have really big dreams for myself, and I see them coming true. But I know it takes time. There's steps that have to be in place. So I'm excited for the future, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to work for myself. That's my end goal.
Nice.
Is it easy? Is it as easy as we think it is being business owners?
I don't think it's easy.
It's not easy at all. It's not.
Your face just said it all.
No, I feel like it's attainable though. If you really believe in yourself and you really push yourself and you really give it all you got, you can definitely do it. But I feel like the glitz and the glams, and people they don't see the sacrifices. They don't see the challenges. They don't see the late nights. They don't see the tears. They don't see the failures. They don't see all the background, the behind the scenes. They just see, the success, and they don't understand what it takes. It takes a lot of work. And, sometimes I feel like sometimes people get into business and not prepared. It's like not being prepared. You're not always going to be prepared, but I just feel like just getting yourself mentally prepared. I had to mentally prepare myself for this tax business. I literally had to and like you said, people doubt you. Nobody really, there is some financial people in Rochester, but I just feel like the way that I'm going to do it is going to be in a different type of way, really, because I'm really passionate about helping people financially. I went through my own hurdles that would really cause me to really, and that you're going to impact people, thousands of people financially, because I don't want people to struggle. I don't want people to feel like there's no way out. I don't want people to feel like, it's just going to be always that struggle working to pay bills. You know what I mean? It's just like, you can go after the life of your dreams. You can accomplish your goals. It's going to be hard. It's going to be times when you feel like you want to give up, but I just feel like you just always have to just push yourself in the midst of everything. Because at H&R Block, I was number 1 in the district. So at that moment, I knew, I'm like, okay, Annette, if you can do this, and they wanted me to become office manager, they wanted me to do so much different things, and I'm just like, if you can do this for a company that's paying you pennies, you can come and do this for yourself.
Right.
I even had H&R Black even kind of reach out to me like, in a like a way like they kind of see me, and it's just like, wow, you guys are paying attention to little old me, like, well, y'all see me as like kind of a threat now because I had to do it. I just had to do it, and I'm just so grateful that I did. And I'm really gonna help other people, down the line, start their own tax business, all different types of stuff that I have planned.
Nice.
To really, spread financial literacy in our community and to everyone.
That's greatly needed.
Yes,
greatly
definitely
needed.
I see business, and I'm loving the Blackness. Last week we had Betting Black.
Yep.
And we had 2 businesses come, and it's a beautiful thing to see us as businesswomen. I love when Jessica, posts and you're showing who you just did for, the PR for, and I'm like, hey, I know her. But I just love seeing that because it shows that you are doing. I love when every time we had a vendoring, you have people at your table and, people are coming. I love when, your poetry book is coming out. And this chick right here, y'all know, I think I probably get on her nerves by asking her and giving her ideas and texting her at 3 a.m. She looks at the picture and my words and be like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And have to call me. And then I was like, well, I saw this in my head and now I have to explain. And she's amazing. And I don't think people really, really understand the magnitude of her talent. And I talk about her talent all the time, and everyone who sees my t-shirts and sees her work,
yes.
I just sometimes give an idea for the stuff I ask her to create for me, but my idea is this. When she's finished with it, it's the room, and I'm just like, okay, I just gave you this.
Oh, thanks.
Whatever. And she knows. She knows she's the bomb. But I see her, and I just still, even with graphics and everything, I'm like, how do you do all this? As women, how do we do all this? How do we survive being women in a male-dominated, and we're Black women?
Well, that's Black girl magic.
Right.
That's all that is. We just sprinkle it
And we have no other choice. I mean, as women and as Black women, there's no other choice but to just do it. Like,
that's it.
We don't have a choice.
No, we don't.
Right.
We don't. And that's what is beautiful. We are coming out of the woodwork. Every day you see someone is designing facial creams and lotions and hair care and braiding, and I love it. Every time I come on Facebook, you can just pick. You can pick. I'm a beater.
This is
you
on
can
airplane
pick
mode.
and do everything and be like, I want this service, and we almost can find someone Black to do it.
That's in our DNA.
It
Right.
is.
Creativity.
Yeah.
Making a way.
It is like
surviving.
you can now find.
Yep.
You can find, and especially you can find a Black woman that's probably doing.
Right. And I want to chime in when you first asked Annette something about kind of like the challenges. Every business, whether a large corporation or a small business, has challenges. Let's think about what happened with the NFL. Remember when those players started taking a knee and the whole Kaepernick situation occurred?
Right.
The NFL took a major hit. So even a big corporation making mega dollars,
Still takes that, yeah.
you know what I mean? I bet their CEO was like, oh, you know what I mean?
Really?
Because there were sponsors pulling out. People like, oh, y'all taking a knee during the national anthem. This is American patriotism and whatnot. Them taking a knee had nothing to do with patriotism. You know what I mean? They were trying to tie it to the vets. Hold on, we're talking about Black Lives Matter. Y'all took one situation and did a whole other, but so everybody faces those challenges, but how will you rise?
Right.
And I feel like with Black people, we have that resilience.
Yes, we do.
We don't have a choice.
Yes, we do.
Resilience,
And that's the one thing, Betting Black and on this is just making aware that we have the option of coming to us and making people aware that we're here. I can't afford Jessica, so I'm not.
I have a question for
Jessica. I'm not even gonna look at Jessica, but
she's our bougie,
right?
She's our bougie babe.
No, I can afford Jessica PR, but no, seriously, it's like if I'm someone that needs PR, if I have a major business, I now know. La Lou is right there. I can go.
Right.
If I need my taxes done and I don't want to go to H&R anymore, I have a young Black woman. I can say, wait a minute.
Right.
I can go to you and I don't have to go to H&R Block or Hewitt. I was about to say Hewitt Packard. Okay, y'all. I was going to say the computer. But you know what I'm saying? Edit. So those are things that, we just want to acknowledge that we are here live and in charge. But you had a question
for Jessica. So it seems like women are always, us as women, we're always having to prove ourselves and we're always having to project ourselves a certain way. How important is image? And just not just business wise, our images, but then our daily lives. How important is that with our business as far as it's concerned? Does it impact, I might be on Facebook cursing people out left and right, but then I have a business selling, spiritual candles or something. How important is image? And do we have to go above and beyond? Do we need to be more professional? You would know, you're the PR lady.
Okay, two schools of thought. So first off, image does matter because everything that's associated with your image is a direct reflection of your reputation. We live in a society right now where social media is king. Everything that you see, people will make assumptions. They will take this stuff as gospel truth. So you do have to be very careful about what you're putting out there because people will say, oh, that's you. That's how she acts. That's how she conducts herself.
Right.
Now, in terms of working twice as hard, I took a class, the business opportunities class, and the instructor,
I'm in that.
Awesome. The instructor was like, we always have this idea, we got to work twice as hard to be, take one step or whatever. Be as good as you can be without working yourself to death. Because all my life I had to fight. So we've been fighting since we came to these shores. Yes. You know what I mean? And we've been working so much, and it's just like, do what you can. Have grace with yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Stop being so hard on yourself. If you make a mistake, own up to it. Fix it and continue to stay the course. I think the thing is not getting back down. And really, sometimes you have to block out the noise. Right. Because when you feel like other people are talking or saying, you know what I mean, and you're not rising above, that can affect your psyche. Right. And then that's when more doubt comes in. That's when more fear, more anxiety. So it has to be a healthy balance, I would say.
What about the acknowledgments? What about when you're doing great?
Yep.
You just bust your behind off this tax season. You just edited 10 books and 5-6 of them are selling out like hotcakes. You just did the bomb painting or you just did the bomb logo. Or
you just gave someone the experience of a lifetime.
We know, and I educated them on travel. I know I just did this, right? And they start talking about someone. They start saying, well, we're doing awards or we having someone speak. We having someone speak. We're talking about business owners. Just whatever.
In another episode.
What happens when
Yes.
And the people around
comparison is the theft of joy.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
And no one says you see every name and you go and look and you
well, yes, comparison would be the theft of joy. But there was just some research that was done that said that women will not get ahead in business unless we demand that our names are associated. We demand that we are seen because you can be in the background doing things. Someone will take all of the credit. We will not move ahead. Right. Just women. And they said in particular, women of color. We have to make sure that we're seen. So in one sense, you don't want to be compared. You don't want to really care about what's going on with the popularity contest. Right. But how do we demand that we're seen?
Okay. Well, you want to speak to that?
I just wanted to say, I wanted to piggyback and say, what I want to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So I would say that first off, when everybody wants to see their face on a flyer. Mm-hmm. Okay, everybody wants to receive awards and accolades. A lot of that is about relationships and who knows you.
Absolutely.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's not even about who you know. It's who knows you.
Absolutely.
Who can say that you are a subject matter expert in travel? Who knows that you, have those experiences and can speak eloquently about those things? That's really what it's about. Mm-hmm. And so that's where networking comes in. Mm-hmm. You got to be schmoozing with the people who are those platform makers, those ones who are putting on events. Mm-hmm. That's really the bottom line. Right. And once you get into the spaces with them and you start talking to them and say, you know what? You know that I'm a tax preparer. Yeah. And this tax season, you start busting down some data, and you really start showing yourself as an authority in that space, then they have no choice. But when they're thinking about it, you're more likely at the top of mind for them.
Right.
Okay. I see it that way, but I also am seeing and it's not just in Rochester.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere where it's the same people being. Right. And it's like, it's so many.
Well,
and
what she said was just right. It's who you know. Sometimes it's not who knows you. Who knows you?
Exactly.
Because it might not even be what you're doing, because some things are subpar and they're still winning hand over foot because people know who they are.
Right.
Yes.
And I think back to this little girl who in September created a dance.
Yeah, the little
girl.
Yeah.
She created the dance.
I didn't know that.
And so
this year,
a white girl started doing the dance. And it became popular. And she's doing it, and everyone thought the white girl
was the creator.
Right. And then finally someone came on her post on social media and was like, I love that you're doing this dance, but at least give the credit to the little girl who created it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she came on afterwards and was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm glad someone made it known who created it. I just love the dance so much. And gave the little girl a shout out
after she cashed in on it
though. And so I thought about that. I'm like, well, okay, you shouted her out, but you didn't say, wait a minute, Jessica, you created this dance.
Right.
I need you to get to where I'm at so we can do this dance together, because I need you to shine with me. And I need people to know, wait a minute, y'all, hold it. I've been doing this dance. I never created this dance. Thank you for the accolades that I am doing this dance, but I would not be doing this dance if it wasn't for Tasha over here doing the dance and me watching Tasha do it and learning the dance. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes we're doing things and, someone else see and go and do
and get the credit.
And we don't acknowledge that, wait a minute, I'm not the creator. Someone taught me, someone showed me, someone mentored me.
It goes back to Katara's point about being humble. And sometimes you have to be straight called out.
Absolutely.
Right. Yes.
How about that?
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
Because I'll be the one right on Twitter like,
it could be socially, it could be legally. Like, they do need to be called out. I was just thinking about, we're so used to people stealing from us, and if it was on the other foot, or I would just say, my grandfather was a songwriter, right?
Yes,
and white people came and stole his music.
That happened.
Yes, it happens all over. And
tell them who your grandfather is.
His name is John Isaac Taylor. I mean, the song you might know is like "Boy from New York City." That was one that he was big for. But he had many others. So they stole his music, right? And he took him to court, which was unheard of, and he fought for it. But this happens all the time. If it was the other way around, they would instantly be on our backs, suing, blasting us, and we just kind of act like we can't say anything about it, and it's not right. It's not right. And it's not just people of other complexions. We do this amongst ourselves all the time.
We do. We don't mind taking the shine and thunder from someone else to make it rain.
I mean, there is nothing new under the sun, per se. I mean, listen, we all could be thinking the same thought right now, like woody woo woo. But if I know that I took your shirt and wore it, I would at least say, hey, don't I look great? Enjoy your shirt. Like, people don't do that.
No.
And we're afraid to go after people legally.
Well, that's a money thing.
Yeah.
Right, it's because to even sue someone costs money.
Right.
So when it's an issue of race between black and white, we'll just use that. See, that's power and oppression.
Yes.
When a person, remember the movie The Five Heartbeats?
Yeah.
And so they were singing their little songs or whatever. And then when their manager bought the album, it had the white people on the cover.
Yep.
Right. So these things are not new. When it comes to black people doing it to each other, that's when we've internalized the views of the oppressor.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what you're seeing now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I want to give, I love this, and I know this is so cliche, but I like giving flowers.
Right.
Yes.
Because, you know, Kobe just showed us if nothing showed between Kobe and what's his name? Lauren London.
Nipsey Hussle.
Just here and gone, you know, and we had in our families, but just saying, I love watching you, and I can't wait for your poetry book to come out. And I love seeing this. I love, you know, everything that she created. I just bothered her for my tattoo. Y'all wait till y'all see this thing. And just to create,
you up, by the way.
you know, just to create my tattoo, she took my thought that I had once again, and
she sprinkled that.
That black girl magic, that all of it. Like I'm telling you, when listen, y'all, when y'all see it, I was like, yeah, but I want this and this, and she was like, oh, okay. But don't. I was like, no, but I wanted it right here. She's like, no, but if you put it here, I was like, that girl, it just took my idea and just ran with it. And Jessica, I just love seeing this, and I think it's because we need to let people see that we are getting our bags, that we are out here, and it's not just us sitting. I mean, when I sent out the invite, we could have had like 7 more other ladies who didn't have things going on today. Right. So we are out here. And I love it because younger girls need to see.
Absolutely.
That's a big difference between being a babe who's chasing bag and a boss babe. A babe who's chasing bag, we're in the process, we're making moves. But a boss babe, regardless, she has no apology. She stands in it. She owns it. Yes. So that's the one who doesn't mind you seeing her shine. Right. That's the one who will stand up and say, I will be counted, you know. And that's a boss babe. Yeah. You know, a lot of us are just babes chasing bags, and we're afraid to step into our greatness. We don't even want to talk it up. You know, and the minute you do that, then you become that boss babe. And that's with anything. You don't have to have a business to be a boss babe. You understand? You can be a boss in your home. You can be a boss if you're going to school. Whatever it is, if you're owning it, you're a boss.
So I love the poem. It's Marianne Williamson, I think, and it's the one that says, "Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, but that we are adequate beyond our measure," or something like that, beyond our means. And I really that quote. Appreciate that because I feel like there are so many women who feel like they have to make other women look bad for you to look good, and you do not. We can all shine.
Exactly. And also, on the other hand, lesser. There's women who are afraid. I'm one of them who dim my shine. And it's not that I'm afraid to shine, but my shine makes people uncomfortable, and that's their problem. That's right. That's what I'm saying. I have to get over that.
And I love it.
I'm doing that this year. Let you know
when she shines, and I love to see other people get uncomfortable when she does it. Because they're like...
That's a reflection of them.
It is, right?
They have to work on it.
And I tell you, right, so I'm going to tell y'all this real quick. This is someone who don't even, like, she will, and I'm like, no. And never, when we first 17, 8, 7, 6,
you got to talk about afros.
No. I'm going to talk about, we went to Queens one day, right? We go in Queens, we getting on this train. This gorgeous man gets on this train. Everybody is on the train looking at this man. And this one walks up to him talking about, baby, it look like you need to gain some weight. Right? And he looking at her and cheesing and smiling and everything. He was like, if I wasn't in a relationship. Now, mind you, every other female was hot, like fish grease.
She was the only one.
She was the only one. And I look and when I see people, I'm like, why are you upset when we shine?
Because they didn't do it.
Right.
And I understand. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's not your time.
It's not your time.
Maybe, you know,
but listen, it's okay that you don't shine today.
You can be the moon and she can be a star. Maybe you can be a flashlight.
If you're shining, we all get the rays.
Yeah.
If I'm standing next to you, if your sun is shining Your rays has to touch me.
And in business, that happens,
If you're shining, our rays touch one another. And that's where, like, I want people to realize that you don't have to throw your clouds over my way.
Or shade.
Your shade.
Yeah.
Because we all gonna get shade at times, right? But if you're shining, baby, just shine.
Yeah.
I see your shine, and I'm gonna keep going. And if I'm shining, I'm gonna try to send my shine your way, even if it's just a hello.
And then, like, if I feel, because as humans, we all have moments of jealousy, envy, etc. So when I feel myself, oh, how did she or how did he? I'll always, say, what, Kasara, you don't know what they had to do to get there, and you don't know what they have to go through to stay there. Right. So don't you dare judge them.
My pastor said, you don't know.
Yes.
My pastor said, he said, when I find myself jealous, he's like, because he'll go on Instagram and he'll see a pastor, preaching at somewhere with like 90,000 people. And he's like, why wasn't I invited to preach? Or their church is doing this. He was like, I go on their page and I like, and I leave a comment and I tell them how amazing they are. He was like, I make sure I go above and beyond to acknowledge what they are doing. He said, because at that moment, my jealousy, my insecurities wanted to dim their shine. So instead, I try to make sure they're shining even brighter. He's like, so when I find myself in those, why not me? Or I could have done that just as well. Why wasn't I selected? Why wasn't I didn't get the award. I go and do that. And I had, when he said that one day in church, God is funny, because the next day I saw something and I was like, wait a minute. I'm doing the same thing. Why? And I went on and I did exactly what he said. I was like, congratulations, this is amazing. And I walked away feeling so amazing because I didn't try to dim. I didn't try to, kick her from under her. I, did that. And I think I want young people to walk away just understanding your time is coming and that you can take that leap of faith.
Your light will always make room for you.
Yeah,
always.
It will.
And I feel like a lot of people we have to get back to, if you're doing what you're called to do, if you're living out your purpose, if you're impacting, if all that should matter. Like, why worry about what the next person is doing? Focus on you, focus on your craft, focus on your success, and the rest is it's gonna play out, So I just feel like a lot of people have to understand their power, understand their worth. Like, I don't care. There's a whole bunch of taxpayers out here, but they're not doing it like me. They don't have what I have. They're not providing the experience. They're not going above and beyond for their clients. They're maybe not as passionate I am about what I'm going to do. I'm on a mission. So it's just like, as long as I'm on my mission and I'm going after my life and my dreams and impacting thousands of people, I ain't worried about what everybody else doing.
You shouldn't even have time.
Yeah, I don't have time.
Really?
If you got time, that's about, you're not really investing in your craft.
Exactly.
Because you're too concerned. Like, what shit? You know what I mean? And I know for me, like, when I see other women doing, I want to sit at their feet. Like, sis, what are you doing? I want
Learn.
And like, when I
have questions.
Right. When I started my blog, I'm like, okay, I know there's a lot of Black women doing blogs around being single. When I started my Instagram page, I followed each and every one of their pages. I needed to see what they were doing, how they were doing it, how do they monetize this. I have to learn from them. There's no point of me recreating the wheel when y'all already got it. Let me just learn from you.
And that's what, in our class, what she said, she was like, who are your competitors? And she's like, you may not want to use that word, competitor.
Right.
But they are.
They are. She's like, and what are they doing? Why are they successful?
Right.
What do you like that they're doing? What do you dislike that they're doing?
Exactly.
What stands you apart from what they are doing?
Right.
And I thought about that. I'm like, I told her, I was like, well, I'm following all these pages to see, and I'm loving what they're doing. And she was like, you are? She's like, who told you to do it? I was like, me?
Right.
I was like, I saw what they were doing and I liked it. And it was so crazy because in Brazil, when we were going up to the steps to take the pictures, another group came behind us. Didn't know what was going on. We were beautiful Black people. They was like, hey, like your t-shirts. Yes, they was like, yo, your t-shirts is fly. We like, hey. So later on, that next day, we find out it's In the Air travel group. The group that I'm following all the time.
Wow.
So I then went on Instagram, saw their picture. It was like, I love your picture. You were right behind us taking your picture. Y'all look so fly. Because I want to see. I love seeing people do well.
Yes.
And another thing too, if we go back to football, when those coaches, they have a defensive coach and the offense, when they're preparing for a match, a game, guess what they're doing? They're watching their opponents. When boxers are preparing for a match, they're watching, they're studying their moves. They got a left hook, what's their strong suit, so I can move this way. If you get into the ring unprepared, that's your fault.
Exactly.
It's gonna be a TKO.
That's your
all right, I'm done with all my stuff.
But it's true. I mean, it's so true. And that's why we say, that's why we wanted ladies on here to just talk about women in business, because this is a field, I think some of us are too scared to do it.
Of course.
Right? Some of us are too scared. Some of us need mentors. And we are scared to ask for help, ask for advice.
And I feel like there are also a lot of women who have been discouraged.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they don't feel like they can do it. They don't have a support system.
Right.
They feel less than. They're not confident. And not just in business, but just in general.
In general,
If
right.
you've come from a family who didn't support you, they're calling you names and they don't believe in you, you're going to carry that in you.
Yes.
And you have to work to get that off of you, but it becomes a part of you. And if you don't work to get it off, then it's going to hinder you.
Well, you got to fight through it. I mean, you have to fight. That's the thing. Some people don't like to tell you their secrets, which, you probably could look it up. But honestly, they don't want to share. You have to fight to get that information. Fight to get the answers you need. And, it's okay to fail and start again, and fail and start again, because every successful person has had some failure. And I don't know, there's a lot of mystery around success and mystery with business. Oh, you can't do this and that. But you really can't. Just try. Girl, if you was babysitting, you had a business. Really, it's real
Exactly.
though. It starts from the bottom.
Exactly.
I may not have this great, big, giant business. I might not be artist of the year or whatever. But if I'm fulfilled and I'm satisfied and I'm happy with what I'm doing and I'm doing the best that I can, then that's my success. Success is relative, Don't compare your success or subjective. Don't compare it to someone else, because what's for me is for me. What's for Jessica is for Jessica. You understand? It's one size doesn't fit all.
That's a fact.
And being business owners, I give us all kudos, because we took a step that most people will not. And everyone don't need to be business owners.
No,
Right.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everyone. Some people,
It's not for me.
It's not for me. And I tell people, I didn't grow up with this dream of being a business owner one day. I never grew up saying, girl, when I get older, I'm going to own a business. And if somebody would have talked to me 6 years ago, I might not have had a business, because it is way more work than I ever thought it was. Yeah. It is way more financial responsibility. When I look at the envelopes I had to have created, when I look at the business cards, I look at my mailing labels, I look at the invoices, I look at how much it costs for now third website. When I look at all that.
So let's do some tips around the table. I'll start. Don't accept money for something that you cannot do or cannot provide. Absolutely. If you know that you don't know how to do it, don't front, girl. Because let me tell you something. It's gonna come on you like a pound of like 100 bricks. Don't do it.
Shots fired.
I'm not even being funny. Some people have come to me about things. I don't know how to do that. I'm not even gonna fake the fun, and I'm not about to go quick, hurry up, and try and figure it out and give you something that's subpar, and then I look like trash. So don't accept money for something that you cannot do or service you cannot give, and make sure that when you're doing it, that you are secure and confident and really know what you are doing. Please don't.
Jessica?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say, well, first off, just going back to everybody is not meant to be a business owner. Like, just because you know how to cook well doesn't mean you need to run and open up a restaurant.
Right.
You just might need to have dinner parties at your house often. Right. You know what I mean? And I would say too, I love what you said about that. Like, some people want national media placement. Like, they might want to get an Essence. I've never secured an Essence placement. So I'm not going to charge you all this money. Like, until I do, and then I can say, in my portfolio, I've secured an Essence placement. I'm not going to charge you for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would say, be unafraid to take risks. One day I'm going to land that Essence, spot for a client. And then I can say, this is something that I offer. So sometimes you do have to step out, even if you think that you can't do something. Just give it a try.
Yeah.
Okay. Tip?
What would my tip be? I would just say, I guess to kind of piggyback on what we talked about earlier, is just don't be afraid to reach out for help. A lot of people don't want to reach out for help when it comes to business. Do the necessary steps and get the necessary resources you need to actually launching your business successfully. And like Jessica said, don't be afraid to take that risk. That risk, I just posted a status the other day. I said, there's greatness on the other side of risk, because I'm glad I took my risk, because I was scared, nervous, all different type of emotions, but it's just like, I would be more mad at myself if I didn't, if I had to live with regret on what if or what I coulda, shoulda.
Right.
So just definitely just do it. Do it. It's not going to be perfect, but get it as best as you can when you're getting ready to make that step.
I would say, as a business owner, don't give away your knowledge and expertise for free unless it's a barter or it's mutually beneficial. So I know with me, people will inbox me, oh, I want to know about this, I want to know about that. And I would do all this research like, oh, here you go. And then eventually I was like, no, you're going to pay me.
Amen.
But it also distinguishes who's serious and who's not serious. So I don't get as many of those pick your brains, but the people who do reach out to me, they go to that consultation link and they pay me. And they get what they need from me. So I know there's a lot of women who feel like, oh, I have to do this to be nice. They ask me a question. I know the answer. I have to give it to them. But as a business owner, you need to make sure that you're being compensated. Like you said earlier, make sure you're getting compensated for that knowledge and expertise.
Right.
I say find a mentor. I have two. Patty at Bean Cruises and Travel. And I have Kat out of San Diego, who told me to go open my business. And I can right now reach out to Kat on WhatsApp and ask her, talk about hotels, talk about where I'm going. And her and I are always a week or two out from one another. And so that those two people have allowed me to, even in my mistakes, help me get up out of my mistakes or give me a better lesson, because to me, it was like, I made a mistake. I know not to do that again, but explain to me and show me more so why I can't do it or how to do it better or whatever. So I tell everyone, get someone that can help you, that you can go to in the ninth hour and ask questions, because then you have support, because that support can make or break you. Otherwise, we all out here learning on our own, but it's easier to learn on our own, but then go and make a phone call. What's that? Remember when you had the show, you could dial a friend.
Dial a friend.
What was it? Remember the show?
Emergency. I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Remember when you could call a friend, whatever 50 split, all that. Like it's okay to get out there and you're treading water, but when you get tired of treading water, you can just pick up that phone and be like, okay, I'm treading water right here. Help me get to land. And so for me, it's get a mentor, get more than one mentor, get as many as you need to make you secure and successful.
Definitely.
Right?
Yes.
So
I agree.
This has been
electrifying,
right? It's nice. March celebrating women. Who is a business owner that you admire and look up to? Start with you.
Oh,
you gotta come back.
Really?
Okay, come back. Come on. I'm pass on that one. Go ahead. Just a black woman. It doesn't matter. No, this is not about our business, but just a boss lady that's doing things that you just admire and like what she's doing.
Well, two people that come to my mind right away. One is my mentor. Her name is MJ Allen. She's just super inspiring. She was like one of my biggest pivotal people in my corner, helping me make strategic decisions, helping me work through everything that I needed. She pushed me. She knew, she believed in me. She's super inspiring. I would say she's amazing. She's the beast. She's about her business. She do not play around. Like, I love her. And another, like, she's on a more higher level, more, her name is Dana Chanel. I don't know if you guys follow her on Instagram. She's pretty much, her and her husband, they're 25-year-old multimillionaire tax business. They started their own tax business. They had like a Black-owned business where they had tons of Black-owned vendors for hair, beauty, all products, and they're just all for empowering our generation financially. They're amazing. I look up to them. Like, I want to be just like them, having my multi-million, helping other people, you know, pretty much recycling the money Black into our communities. Because we have to understand, we have to get into these service-based businesses and different business. Like you said, there's somebody for everything. So it's just like, we have to recycle that money back into our community instead of just going blowing our money in other communities and making them rich. So they are a big inspiration, and they are doing it. So I just love both. Those are two people that just popped in my head. Just Black girl magic to the T. Just doing and just curating and just building. So those are two people.
No, it doesn't have to be a woman. Just, well, it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be just
Ava DuVernay. Ava started as a publicist in the film industry before she became a filmmaker and a producer. And so what I love about her story is that it's kind of like started from the bottom. Now she's here. You know, now she has her own production company right now. She's making movies that have received so many accolades, documentaries. She had 13th. She came, what's the one about the Central Park 5? When They See Us or something like that.
Yes.
She had the movie with Oprah Winfrey, kind of like that Disney movie. I mean, her resume just spans so much, but she's still down for the cause. Like, she's still a down girl, and I just love that. And also Lena Waithe. She's a producer from Queen and Slim. You know, I love her story. I follow her on Instagram now, and I'm just like, these are boss babes. Like, for real talk. So.
Naj?
Yeah, I'm just taking this in.
So one of the ladies
that's what I was gonna do.
She started, and I want to get upset because I cannot think of her name. She's out of Philly, and I'm going to tell you her name in a moment. She's out of Philly, and she started workout challenges and started making t-shirts. And from there, she grew her workout challenges, grew her t-shirt business, and then she started selling shapewear, opened a store, has a mobile, and I watched her to just see that this is someone, she was a teacher, had medical issues, had to come out on medical, and has a business, a thriving business, and her name is Za. Za, and I want to get her name right. But I know it's under, and now I can't find it. But I follow her on Instagram, and I'm going to tell you who she is if it kills me. And then everyone knows I just love Diana Ross. Right? I love, her name is Zykia Blaine on Instagram. And I follow her FBF Body, and then Zykia Blaine. I follow her because I don't know if she's a million, she probably is by now, but she is doing amazing things and has girl conferences and talks. And I just like watching her with her 2 kids and watching how she's impacting and working with other ladies and teaming up. I just like it. And she travels, y'all. Like, she's quick to get on a plane by herself and leave the country. And then it's Diana Ross. And Diana Ross, for so many reasons, was a designer. Everyone don't know that all the clothes in mahogany that you are looking at and fell in love with, that Diana Ross actually designed. She went to school for fashion design in high school. And so just all the different layers of who she is, not just an entertainer, not just a mother. Like, you know, I love when I was a little girl watching her on the HBO specials and calling Tracy and them to come sing, you know, Reach Out and Touch. This is just under my age, but just watching her growth and the level of being a mom and now a grandmom, and how she just is embracing it and loving it, and just a powerful woman. I love that about her.
You know, I don't follow many people in business, but I guess then again I'd say they were. I follow a lot of people who are in the business of social media, you know, and they blow up like that. But if you want to talk about somebody who I love and I like the way she moves, it would be Erykah Badu, because she started underground. She was performing in clubs, and then she blew up on the scene with her albums, and then she kind of disappeared, and she's a DJ, and she's a doula, and she's all these things. And I'm like, and all of her successes, she's just as happy with her quiet successes as her very visible and public successes. And I like the way she moves, and she's very diversified. So I'm like, that's really cool.
So are you gonna buy her fragrance?
I have my own, thank you. I don't need me by doing something. Yeah, no. Sorry.
Okay.
I would say Dr. Boyce Watkins. I really like him. I really appreciate the fact that he's unapologetically Black. So on his, his YouTube channel, he's saying, what he's got to say. He's not afraid to share his experience at Syracuse University, being one of the only Black doctors in finances and economics. He has his own program where he teaches Black people how to invest, what to look for. He has a children's program where he's teaching our babies how to invest in their money and putting in stocking drawers instead of just wearing them. So I really appreciate that. I have a profound appreciation for people who are not afraid to say what's controversial, because I'm always censoring myself. Like I usually try to say things in a politically correct way. So I have a very strong attachment to those people who don't give a beat and just say what they want to say, how they want to say it. So I really exactly. That's my problem.
Don't you love them? I love that. I love people who can say, I found as business owners. Do you find that as business owners, we are more
censored?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Not me, because I'm in art. I'm in art and other things, so I don't have to be censored. I mean, you get a feel for what you know what you're gonna get messing with me, and it's artsy fartsy. So like I don't have those things that necessarily you all do. PR, sure, you have to watch it.
Yeah, I am. But you know what? Sometimes you can still be unapologetic. I do love Amanda. She just got on The Real. Sears.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Sears,
I do love her because she's very unapologetic, but she's smart. That girl is smart as a whip. So, yeah, I mean, you can be censored in a way, and then sometimes just give zero beeps.
For sure.
I really like that. Zero beeps.
Y'all gonna be calling me Miss Beat now.
So, I think we just kind of took the lid off of just being boss babes, right?
Yes.
Just talking about it and acknowledging it and saying we're here unapologetically Black, happy, proud business owners. And I thank you ladies for answering the call.
Thank you.
I thank you ladies for saying yes. It's so appreciative. We are so appreciative to have you here, to be a guest on here, for investing in our vision, investing in our passion, because you could be anywhere.
You're supporting us.
And you're supporting us. You're supporting the village. So we have community shout outs real quick. And if you have anything going on, or I do, while you get yours together, I'll hurry and do ours, and then we'll move on. So we have Power Hour March 24th at Native Eatery Bar. Right. That's a networking event for people Black and brown. And then the only other one we know of right now is Delta Sigma Theta's Jazz Brunch, May 16th at the Hyatt Regency. Jessica?
Yep. So I am a proud member of the Theta Omega Sigma chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. And on Saturday, March 14th, you can find us at the Adams Street Recreation Center for our youth symposium. This is for youth ages 12 to 18. We're going to have interactive sessions. We're going to be giving swim lessons. There's going to be a martial arts demonstration, a youth talent show, painting and a poster project. And for the grown folks, on Friday, April 10th, you can come party with us at the Strath Allen for the official Glow Up Party.
Nice.
We will be there at 6 o'clock. All of you ladies, you guys are invited. Tickets are $25 in advance. And starting April 1st, tickets go up to $30.
Okay. See you then.
I am actually a guest speaker at an event coming up on April 4th. It's called Boss Woman Collab Brunch. I don't know if you guys know Faith. She is CEO of Renewed LLC. She has a hair care line of Curly Girl Magic. I'm trying to transition eventually. But tickets, we're down to our last 10 tickets. Ticket sales have sold. The amount of overwhelming support from this event has been absolutely amazing. I really appreciate Faith for asking me to be a guest speaker to empower and inspire. You guys can get tickets at bosswomancollab.eventbrite.com. It's only 10 left, so get them quickly.
Awesome. All right. So I am actually going to be a speaker at Disrupt HR. It's April 28th at the Hero East Ballroom. It's from 5 to 8:30. Tickets start at $10. So come out. I'll actually be speaking about code switching. So come out and learn more about that. And I'm also the executive secretary of the Rochester Black Authors Association. And we do have our annual Authors Expo coming up July 11th at Wilson Academy, 200 Genesee Street, 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. It's free and open to the public. Come out and meet some local Black authors from throughout the state as well.
I'll be there.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, free activities for kids. There's food. It's going to be like a cookout vibe. So come and join us.
Wait a minute. Excuse me. What do you have coming out for yourself?
That's March 11th. You said after the 13th.
Your book?
Well, I have a book signing this week, March 11th, but right. It's not after the 13th. You're going to have to edit that out.
Well, tell us about your book.
Tell us about
Where can they pick it up?
Yes, so the book that I wrote, one of the books I wrote, my new book has poetry in it. So it's personal poetry. There's some poems about things that I've gone through, things that I've witnessed, observed, love, life, pain, things like that, just different aspects of life. So I'll be reading some of the poems at my signing this Wednesday at Writers and Books. So you're welcome to come out. But this is the most personal book that I've done. Everything else has been like nonfiction, dealing with professionalism, things like that. But this one is, it's going to be on Amazon, and I'll have physical copies as well. So if you guys want a physical copy, or order it on Amazon.
Okay, thank you.
So, our next episode is Bag Lady. What can Harry be?
Bag Lady.
Please don't hurt your back. Okay. So, y'all want me to sing because y'all know. But I'll bust out a song for you. But that's our next episode. So until then,
remember,
say,
it takes a village.
We are the village. Peace.